The passport bros are a phenomenon in the United States. And of course, they come with their critics, but they also come with the facts. And the facts are, it's hard to get a woman in America to be submissive. Now, this is not to say that you can't find them. All I'm trying to say is that it's quite difficult, according to many men in the Western world. Now, I don't mean to be the kind of guy who stereotypes people, but we're gonna have to talk about some of those stereotypes. And, you know, let's just be honest. Black people in general typically have better rhythm. Typically, they are more athletic. That's just a stereotype that blacks have. It doesn't mean that it is right, but when you look at the NBA, you look at the NFL, you look at even soccer, you see a lot of blacks. When you look at musicians that dance the best, who do you think about? We rarely say, Elvis Presley, right? He can dance, but you look at people like Michael Jackson, James Brown, Chris Brown. It's not as much of a stereotype as we may say. And when we look at Asians, we look at them as being more fastidious. They pay attention to detail. They're smart. They're intelligent. Is every Asian like that? Most likely not. But we do know that Asians on average are very productive as a group. We see that in their development shows. You ever heard of South Korea, China, Singapore, Japan? Yes, we all have heard of Honda or Canon. And if you're in South Korea, Samsung, LG. Yeah, that's because Asians are very good at those things. Now, when it comes to the dating world, we look at it almost the same. Asian women are very submissive on average. Black women, not as submissive on average. And that is where the passport bro community comes into place. Because now with these stereotypes, we can kind of somehow get a hypothesis. Doesn't mean that it's right, but we can go there. And most black men have decided that, you know what, dating in America is not the right thing for me to do. Let me go and deal with some women overseas, or bring a woman overseas, possibly from Asia, who's going to be more submissive. And then, well, sometimes theories don't always hold place. And I'm going to talk about this one lady by the name of KK31387. She's an Asian woman that grew up in the United States, and we're going to see if she's submissive. Let's play that clip.
So I know a lot of these passport bros, and especially black men, are in my comments asking me why I'm talking about this. It's not my fight. And before anything, I'm a woman, so I'm always going to stand up for women regardless of race. And one thing that really bothers me about this is these same passport bros are the men who probably tried to hit on me in the US before they realized that we don't like them either. I'm from a town that really doesn't have that many Asian women, especially Asian women who look like me. Like I said, you guys, I'm adopted. I grew up in a white family in the Midwest, so I have no beauty standards from South Korea. I'm a thick woman. I weigh about 165 pounds. I'm 5'5", so honestly, the brothers like to holler, and they still do. Regardless of what some men in the comments are trying to say, that black men aren't checking for Asian women. Yeah, right. Check my DMs. But anyway, pretty much every time I met a black man, he thought it would be a flex to say something like, yeah, I like my women foreign. I like my women exotic. And I don't know why they decided to say that to me, if they thought it would make me feel good or something, but for me, it's always a red flag. And so I would dig in a little bit further and say, well, what do you mean by that? Because I'm a white girl on the inside. My family is white. I grew up in a white community in a small town in the Midwest, so I might look exotic, but I'm Wonder Bread white on the inside. So anyway, whenever these guys would say this, I'd be like, well, you're about to be in for a big disappointment if you're expecting a submissive, docile Asian to take care of you.
So based on that, we can see that, well, she isn't the most submissive lady in the world. But what about a woman that is from overseas? That could be a completely different story. If you go and date a woman from Singapore or Vietnam or a place like that and bring her over to the United States, yeah, she could be very submissive. And that brings me to this particular YouTube channel called Funds with Beings in Being. Now, it appears this is an African-American brother, and he has it appears, Asian wife. Seems they're very happy. Seems like they even have children, at least one child together. And I mean, hey, they're married, right? And again, most black men would see that and would say, you know what? These people are, you know, definitely in love until we see this particular video played here.
Back and forth?
Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have pushed me. You shouldn't have hit me.
Oh, you didn't hit me? You didn't push me?
I never pushed you, never hit you. This is all my stuff destroyed.
You fucking choked me. You fucking choked me.
It's all my stuff destroyed. You came straight in.
You fucking choked me.
You came straight in and destroying my property. That's what you did. You came straight in here destroying my property. Right in here destroying and ripping up my property. As soon as you came home, you came right in destroying and ripping my property. As soon as you walked in. You destroyed and ripped my property. This is the Most High stuff.
I really didn't mean to do that. I didn't destroy it just like I didn't get right.
Destroyed up all my stuff.
I really didn't mean to do that. Everything else I need to. So now you're like technically you're trying to go hard on the job because you've been supporting her already. You've been giving her money. Meanwhile, you're just trying to for the kids. You want to ask me for money. You want to use cash out for what kind of fucking retarded is that stupid shit?
Call it what you want to call it, but you can't hit people if you're mad. You can't come home. As soon as you come home, I'm on a Zoom meeting and you just immediately hit me. You can't do that. That's something you're not allowed to do. It's illegal.
Oh, that's illegal. That's illegal for you to just give all your money. That's why we don't have no fucking money for the rent, for the mortgage, because we was giving her money.
It's illegal for you to hit people, Maribel. However you slice it and dice it.
Go to your wife.
However you slice it and dice it, you cannot hit people.
Hey, I just found out he's been giving money to that girl.
I gave that money way months ago. Months ago.
He's been supporting her.
I gave her money months ago. That was months ago.
He said months ago. She just told me she just come from. He's like you know, he goes like, for example, it's not working, but you know, when it comes to like getting food for the kids, he always asks me for money. That's why he don't have the money and he want to borrow money from me.
You cannot hit people, Maribel. That's not gonna happen. Look at all the stuff you broke.
Yeah, but I just found out that he's been giving money to her. I already called the cops on him. When it comes to like being kids, food and stuff like that, he wants me to send him money.
She punched on me and whooped on me first though, real good too. Before she could ever do anything. Then call the cops and said, don't tell them that I did nothing to you, Maribel.
Hello.
I'm right here, officer.
So guys, you know, this is pretty interesting, right? You even can see some of the ladies like this commenter, Teal. She's fit, friendly, and submissive. Erica, he brought her here and then turned around and asked her for money. Sharon Crawford says he thought the grass was greener on the other side. Now, it's so many other comments there I just don't want to get into, but obviously we see that in this particular case, that woman was not as submissive as he would have thought. Not only that, she's also quite violent. There were some other videos that he had on his page. I just can't play those because it was crazy. Like she was hitting the guy and all that stuff. And I mean, like the lady is just like going off, right? And I just want to say that he has another video called Passport Bros We Losing, where she's actually hitting him with a rake. You know, it's crazy, right? And of course, it seems the guy is doing very well, is in a nice neighborhood. I think what we need to do is to not think about women based on race as much. We should deal with women based on what they are. And I see that a lot of guys are going for somebody who's Asian, going for somebody who's white, going for somebody who's Colombian. And then, you know, you're dealing with somebody who just is individually just as violent as anybody else. And it's the same thing that you see with black men. A lot of black men don't like the fact that women look at them and judge them based on them being black. But we turn around and judge other women based on them being Asian. And yeah, there are some scenarios where it works out. A woman that's from Asia can be more submissive. But then there are other cases where it's not. I think a lot of black men need to do their homework. Well, guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.